Hello, it's Richard over at the Breakaway Café again. I'd just like to talk a little bit more about conflict and specifically why we fear conflict. Now, most people tend to fear conflict and try where possible to avoid it. However, that's because most people don't see conflict, whether at work or at home, as a natural, normal part of life. But in fact, conflict in the right place and addressed properly can be truly beneficial. This is so because through conflict can become an awareness of the need for necessary change, both at work and at home. So why do we fear conflict? Fear, false evidence appearing real, never a truer description. Often the worry is worse than the actual process itself, and fretting over what could go wrong just paralyses us into not taking any action to help things go right. Also to be considered is that as children we were told not to fight and argue, and not to disrespect and challenge our elders. Although this may have been a good grounding, we may have not been taught strategies of how to deal with real issues in a constructive way, and this could have led to our fear of conflict as adults. So what expected outcomes worry us into avoiding conflict? Well, embarrassment and ridicule, of course, the fear of losing control of our emotions, ending up the subject of ridicule is just too much for some people. Or the thought of having a mental block and doing something stupid and being left painfully embarrassed is also too much of a risk. Then of course there's rejection, being rejected by the other person or group due to the result of the conflict can be a big reason to avoid it. Then there's the fear of the unknown. It can be just too unbearable for some people. They start asking themselves questions like, how will I start this difficult conversation? How will it be received, and what if I say something wrong? Then there's disapproval. Will the other person or group disapprove of my behaviour? Or worse, will I disapprove of my own behaviour? Then ultimately there's failure. What if I make the situation worse, or at best it doesn't make any difference? Some people prefer not to risk failure over giving themselves a chance of success. But then of course there's success. What if I win? What if I don't even realise? Will I make the other person or group unhappy? It wasn't my intention. Will I be expected to have more difficult conversations because of my success in the future? In my experience, worrying in advance is often worse than dealing with the conflict itself. Imagining that everything that could go wrong just uses up all your energy, which could be used on getting things right. Taking just a small step towards confronting your fears can often be enough to just get us to face the important conflicts in our life. As often failing to act brings on worse of an outcome than any of the imagined fears anyway. At the Breakaway Café we can help you learn to recognise the benefits in conflicts. We can also work with you and your team to help you confront your fears, those fears that cause you to avoid conflicts. So go over to www.thebreakawaycafe.com where we can help you manage conflict and also with any other management skills too.